The following is a presentation of the Madison Square Garden Network. MSG, we're all over it.
It has been a grueling 6-game road trip for the New York Knicks, and at times a painful one as well. The Knicks have had to withstand a variety of injuries as the wounded have wound their way through the West. It was egos that were bruised in Seattle, where the Knicks took a 20-point pounding from the Sonics. And while Seattle certainly gave the Knicks something to talk about, Karl Malone danced through his celebration as the Jazz tuned out New York's comeback attempt. However, a good time was enjoyed by all in the Knicks' 22-point rout of the Kings. The Knicks were also thrilled with the results of their stirring double overtime victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. And they had a pleasurable experience Wednesday night in Portland, where they escaped with an exciting overtime win. Tonight, the long and winding road leads to the Mile High City, where the Knicks hope to close out the trip with a victory. Arena in snowy Denver, Colorado, as we get ready for the New York Knicks and the Denver Nuggets meeting for the second time this season. A look at the standings. Midwest Division first. Denver having a very long season. They're 17 up, 40 down. The latest losing streak is at 5. While in the Atlantic, Miami at 42-14. The Knicks are 41-16. Only a game and a half back. Miami home tonight for Seattle in late first quarter, trailing the Sonics by 9 points. Hi, everybody. Marv Albin along with John Andres. And tonight it is the finale of the 6-game Western swing. And John, looking back at the game in Portland, a bizarre game on Wednesday night, the overtime victory for the Knicks. It was the offense of Larry Johnson who got it going in the fourth quarter, where the Knicks were able to turn things around.
Yes, the Knicks have been hoping Larry would step up in those moments, Marv, and he really did big time. The Knicks needed him to do that, and he went down in the low post and did the kind of work that he did in Charlotte for his years there. Larry Johnson had his moves on target, and a little strong drive, then the pull-up jump shot was working, and then he took the much taller Clifford Robinson inside and did Larry Johnson characteristic spinning move and hit that short jump shot very nicely. Strong game for Larry in 42 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 10 from the field, perfect from the foul line, 8 rebounds. And the big thing about his game was that the points came at the right time. 12 of his 14 came in the fourth quarter, and that really helped the Knicks continue on and turn that game right around.
And there's a change in the Knicks starting lineup. As we reported on the pregame, Chris Childs still bothered by the sprained wrist. He was forced out of that game in Portland on Wednesday early, and Childs will sit it out tonight. Charlie Ward is the starter tonight at the point guard spot. For the Denver Nuggets, not much on the positive side to talk about. Clearly their best player this season has been the 5-year man out of Notre Dame, LaFonso Ellis, and this guy has made an amazing comeback when you think of the severe knee problems that he went through.
Yes, the last 2 years were just about nothing for Ellis because of the major problems, and it is amazing that he came back. Toronto got a feel of his sting the other night when he scored 32 against them, and Popeye Jones, a very tough man inside, was nothing for Ellis, who just jump hooked over him, spun around him, and really gave Toronto a very, very tough time in that 2-point game. And over the last 3 games, look at the numbers for LaFonso: 28 a game, rebounding, assists, and his 21-point average this year is far better than his career best at 15 a game.
All right, the snow falling here in Denver. We'll be back with the Knicks and the Nuggets in just a moment.
Budweiser.
All right, we're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. with jamming, and I hope you like jamming too.
Your daughter has an American Express student card. She'll be able to get great deals on flights home.
It gives you more choices.
With that card, you can extend the payments. It's very flexible.
You're going to get a reward point for every dollar you spend.
Our senior member card has a lower fee.
It gives you some more options.
I'm sure we've got a card that'll work for you.
Whoever you are, American Express helps you do more.
Now let me get this straight. What you're saying is all those Delta Sky miles I'm accumulating
will never expire. Just fly with us once every 3 years.
So 10 years from now, you're still good. Half a century passes.
Still good.
Oh, I'm 104 and I need a vacation.
Have you flown with us once every 3 years?
Absolutely.
Hawaii's nice.
Does everyone have email but you? AT&T can deliver it to you through the internet. AT&T, nobody makes it easier to catch the wave. Worried that no one will visit your website? AT&T can drive customers right to your door. AT&T, nobody makes it easier to catch the wave.
Starting Thursday for 3 days only, don't miss the incredible open box sale at Nobody Beats the Wiz. 10 to 60% off every box already open for any reason. All brands, new and demos, thousands of prices slash. Save 10 to 60% off every open box. Big screen TVs, computers, audio systems, speakers, camcorders, telephones. If it's an open box, the price is cut. Really cut. For 3 days only.
I'll take this one.
Our greatest open box sale ever ends Saturday at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By the American Express card. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly. By Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers.
Back in Denver, the Knicks have just been introduced to the crowd, and they'll go with Larry Johnson, Charles Oakley at the forwards, Patrick Ewing the center, Allen Houston, and Charlie Ward for the injured Chris Childs in the backcourt. Now let's pick it up with the introduction of the home club, the Denver Nuggets.
All right, fans, on your feet. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet your Denver Nuggets. Coached by Dick Motta and assisted by Jim Bravelli and Gene Littles. Accompanied by trainer Jim Gillen. And now, the starters for your Denver Nuggets. At guard, 6'2" from Houston, number 5, Anthony Goldwire. At guard, 6'5" from Virginia, number 23, Bryant Stiff. At center, 6'11" from New Orleans, number 50, Irvin Johnson. At forward, 6'9" from Alabama, number 24, Antonio McDyess. And at forward, 6'8" from Notre Dame, number 20, LaFonso Ellis.
Fans, please welcome. Well, this is a Denver team that has lost 5 straight. They've won only 17 of their 57 games. They have lost 8 of 9. This all since the All-Star break. Will there be overconfidence on the part of the Knicks? John asked that of Knicks coach Jeff Van Gundy.
Well, I don't think we're going to be overconfident at all, but I do think there are a lot of excuses out there for failure that I'm worried about our guys mentally giving into. Altitude, last game of a road trip, banged up, fatigued, whatever it may be. We're going to have to come out and play well tonight, John, because this team was ahead of us for 3.5 quarters in New York. They have a long, athletic front line that posed us problems there. We're going to have to play very well to win here.
Well, let's see now. Altitude, banged up, fatigue. John, all the excuses that you used for your performance in Denver last time we were here.
They work too, Marv. People actually believe the excuses. And the altitude is a factor, by the way. That's no joke, particularly for teams who come in here once a year. And I'm sure Jeff is going to be watching the minutes and watching the habits of his Knicks as they maybe fail to box out or, show lesser efforts. And it's just a function of fatigue sometimes.
The officials, Jess Kersey, Tom Washington, and Scott Foster. Irvin Johnson, the former Seattle Sonic, and Patrick Ewing on the opening tip. It is controlled by the Knicks. Larry Johnson being played by LaFonso Ellis. Here's Charlie Ward working on Anthony Goldwire. Charles Oakley. And Johnson with the rebound. Patrick Ewing with vivid memories of a game he had against Irvin Johnson in Seattle last season. One of his best, actually maybe the best game of his NBA career. Here's McDyess. Antonio McDyess, the second-year man from Alabama, averaging 16 per game, gives the Nuggets a 2-0 lead.
But Irvin Johnson has come on strong with a lot of playing time now as the Knicks turn that ball over. Allen Houston couldn't handle it. I mean, he is the 11th leading rebounder in the NBA now at over 10 a game. So he's developed. He's not bad at all.
But for Irvin Johnson, it is all at the defensive end in terms of shot blocking and rebounding. And actually, I feel the numbers are up because he's getting more playing time.
Yes, no question.
Here's Ellis firing one high and far. Alfonso Ellis has been averaging 28 a game the last 3 games. Johnson squaring up on Ellis. And the game is tied at 2. This is certainly a different look Denver Nugget team, certainly from the one the Knicks saw earlier in the year and from a year ago. Here's Johnson with a rare shot.
Whoa, he didn't look too uncomfortable executing that shot, Marv.
Gone from last season to Kemby Mutombo, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Jalen Rose, Reggie Williams. Of course, Mark Jackson has departed. Ricky Pierce, Bernie Bickerstaff, all gone. So the Knicks take a 4. Make that tie the game at 4.
And they take a 4.
And they take a 4.
Knicks going to their low post picks now to get Allen Houston going, and he does go strong to the basket and a mighty soft touch at the end.
Allen Houston coming off a 4 of 14 against Portland, and again sat out down the stretch. And that looked to be a travel, but no, a reach-in foul. It's called. Jess Kersey with the call on Larry Johnson.
I was noting in the papers today in New York, Marv, people naturally, members of the press, going to Allen Houston saying, "Oh, you're disappointed. You haven't been playing in the 4th quarter. Lack of confidence. How do you feel?" And naturally, he is disappointed. And then you think to yourself, how does the coach feel? I mean, if the guy is not delivering and the coach feels he has to sit him down and other people can do the job, then he makes the job. How about the coach's feelings? It's interesting how an article can be written naturally to provoke some interest in the subject.
Charlie Ward on that foul. Well, Allen Houston over the last 2 games, 8 for 21 from the field. And John Starks has been effective over those 2 games down the stretch. The last 12 games, though, overall, Allen Houston has done a good job, averaging just under 19 per game, and that is his best stretch, easily his best stretch as a New York Knick. The game tied at 6 with 2.5 gone by. Quick release by Houston. And Ewing misses, but Oakley is able to convert.
Oh, what a dynamite combination. The soft touch and then the double effect of the 2 Knicks leading rebounders.
Knicks 8, Nuggets 6. McDyess fouled by Oakley.
See, Oakley was fronting him, and there wasn't any help behind. But Oakley did make a remarkable recovery, considering the lead pass looked as though it was going to end up in a slam dunk for McDyess. See, Oakley fronted him, and there was no help. But he did make a good recovery.
Antonio McDyess, as we discussed earlier, had that excellent game against the Knicks in mid-December in New York. He is only a 67% free throw shooter. 29 points against the Knicks in the earlier meeting. Very explosive leader. John.
He's doing it all.
And continues to show flashes, though. He's had his ups and downs. He has been turnover prone as of late.
I mean, the guy would be a senior in college at Alabama hadn't he come out 2 years early.
Johnson got the step, drew the foul. Strong move to the left by Larry Johnson.
Knicks doing a good job getting Larry Johnson and Allen Houston into the offense early. They're going to them. You can see that whole right side of the basket was cleared out for Larry Johnson. I mean, the thinking here, of course, from Jeff Van Gundy's viewpoint is it takes pressure off Ewing. You don't want to have to go to him throughout the whole game, build up the other guys, and then let Patrick work his way into the game.
The Knicks with a 10-8 lead. Anthony Goldwire, one-time member of the Charlotte Hornets, who came over in the deal with George Zedek and Ricky Pierce. Nice setup. Anthony Goldwire, who has averaged 10 points and 6 assists per game in his 3 previous games as a member of the Nuggets, and he's tied it at 10. Ewing had the step. Ewing on the rebound. Will it be a goaltend? Yes, and the foul.
Had to be that. Ewing and Oakley combining, putting great pressure on the boards. There's another look at it now. Ewing going baseline, getting that soft shot up. Not quite on it, but Oakley was there to keep it alive. And then Patrick came in for the finish. Interesting thing was he started up in the air with his back to the basket and knew exactly where he was for the end.
It is a 3-point play for Ewing, and the Knicks up 13-10. The Knicks would love to get back to New York with 4 wins on this road trip, 4 of the 6 games. The recovery by McDyess. Here's Goldwire, challenged Ewing. Stith had the foot on the line. A 2-pointer for Bryant Stith, who's been playing hurt, bothered by a sprained left foot. It's been with him for nearly 2 months. An MRI test the other day showing no stress fracture, so he's been hanging in. Oakley, yes. And the Knicks are up 15-12.
Knicks will have to protect the perimeter on defense, as the Nuggets do like to shoot the threes. They don't have a big scoring man inside, and they'll go to that perimeter game plenty.
Yes, they are among the leaders in three-point shooting, number 6 in the league. Allen Houston, played by Bryant Stith, who is an excellent defensive player.
Looks like Ewing's going one-on-one. No defender coming out over to help out Johnson, and Ewing succeeds in drawing the foul.
And that's number 2 on Irvin Johnson. Irvin Johnson spent 3 years with Seattle, a starter most of last season, but was replaced by Frank Brickowski after a lackluster start in the finals against the Chicago Bulls. Now here's Tom Hammonds checking in, replacing Irvin Johnson. Johnson leaving with the 2 fouls. And Patrick Ewing, with that last basket on the goaltend, has passed Walt Bellamy for number 19 on the NBA's all-time scoring list. The Knicks lead by 4. 5 minutes gone by. Illegal defense called for the first time. And a timeout is taken.
Every time you step up to the line, you're alone. There is no defender. There is no clock. Only one thing can get in your way. Yourself. Don't feel the pressure. Don't think. Just release.
You want to talk about the web? Let's talk about Jack Webb.
You want to tell us a little more about that?
Let's talk about security on the web. You know there are over 50 million people on the web? And they're not all nice.
Liars, cheats,
hackers, snoops,
con men.
Your competition.
What's your point?
You want to keep the bad guys out, but you want to let the good guys in, right?
You got it all worked out.
Not me personally, but some software guys.
Let's have the names, son.
Cable guy!
Tune in, turn on, and laugh your head off.
All right already!
The cable guy is hysterical. Jim Carrey is a comic genius.
Silence of the lambs. Don't you?
Once he gets plugged in, there's no stopping him.
Oh, Billy!
Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick, the cable guy.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, to drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. That could be a relative of Dan Issel. Remember Dan?
I think that's a cheap shot, actually, on your part.
At Dan or the young lady?
No, at Dan. Absolutely. As we take a look at this West Coast road trip winding down, the Knicks opening up with the win in Sacramento. The loss, scoring only 64 points at Seattle, followed by the double overtime victory against the Los Angeles Lakers. 16-14 now off the reverse by Steph. The Knicks lead by 2. And the loss against the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City, followed by the win in Portland on Wednesday night. Nice move by Allen Houston. What a wild game Wednesday night in overtime. The Knicks completing their 11th double-digit deficit comeback win of the season, turning it from that 5-point third quarter, which equaled the franchise record low of November of 56 against the Fort Wayne Pistons. John, a favorite of yours. Tom Hammonds with the tip, and the Knicks now lead by 2. That is since the inception of the 24-second clock. The Knicks were outscored in that third quarter, 27-5. They shot 2 for 17. It was the second lowest point total for a third quarter in NBA history. But they were able to come back.
It was remarkable. Right now, the Nuggets are in big trouble with Johnson out. 6'11" Irvin Johnson out with a couple of fouls. And Tom Hammonds is matched up with Ewing. Tom Hammonds 6'9".
And Scott Brooks making an early entrance. This due to the injury suffered by Chris Childs, sitting out with a sprained wrist. So Brooks has come on for Ward. The Knicks 18 and the Nuggets 16. 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. Charles Oakley.
You know, you look at the Denver Nuggets as a defensive team and consider some of the teams the Knicks have played lately. Obviously, the better teams like Seattle, and the defensive intensity in Utah is so different. When the ball moves around once or twice, all of a sudden the Knicks players can get very good sustained looks at the basket, as Charles Oakley just did.
And there's 65-year-old Dick Motta, the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, in his 25th season as an NBA head coach. That's most in NBA history, but most people assume there will be a host of moves made by the new general manager, Alan Bristow, who has taken over for the departed Bernie Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff, now of course the head coach of the Washington Bullets, and Alan Briscoe already putting his mark on this club by clearing out some salary cap room. They're like $6 million under, and you know there will be an effort to attract some free agents. And he'll also, a year from now, have the task of convincing some of the young stars on this club to stay right here, to re-sign with the Nuggets. Buck Williams has just checked in. And a foul. It's an offensive foul. So the Knicks are now going with Ewing, Williams, and Johnson up front. Houston and Brooks in the backcourt. Scott Brooks has not seen much playing time. Did not play against the Blazers Wednesday. Only a minute against Utah this past Tuesday. But getting the chance tonight in the absence of Chris Childs. Brooks off that long rebound. And here's Brooks. Yes.
Plenty of room for Scott Brooks, and he took advantage of it. Meanwhile, Charles Oakley's getting attended to now. Got a little cut on his arm, and Mike Saunders is working on him.
Knicks with a 4-point lead. John Starks getting set to check in for the first time. Illegal defense called for the second time against the Knicks. So here's Starks replacing Houston. And Brian Stiff will shoot the technical foul. You mentioned Charles Oakley being checked out by Knicks trainer Mike Saunders. He is playing with a bruised left hand. X-rays, though, were negative. He injured his hand Tuesday night in the game against Utah and actually considered sitting out against Portland. At first thought it might be broken, but he was all right and played very well against the Trailblazers. McDyess. What a move by McDyess. Again exploding to the hoop and fouled. He was held by Starks. Antonio McDyess to the line. Charles Oakley has had an outstanding road trip. Look at those numbers. Except for the game in Utah, where he was 0 for 4 from the floor. He has been solid right throughout.
Meanwhile, McDyess is showing the Knicks some of his jumping ability, even from a standstill, Marv. He reportedly has a 42-inch vertical leap and a one-step leap of 47 inches. So when he gets the ball in the low post, goes airborne, boy, he's above everybody.
The Knicks lead is now 1 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Ewing being played by McDyess. Johnson for 3. And rebounded by Hammonds. Goldwire guarded by Brooks. Ellis. Nice move by LaFonso Ellis.
Boy, the different shooting styles of forwards. It looked like Ellis was off balance, almost going to fall down, and he had that shot totally under control.
LaFonso Ellis, a player who has changed his game. He can shoot from the outside. He can shoot off the spin.
American Express, how can I help you?
Mr. Carter, I have you booked on the next flight to Taipei.
Confirmed on that flight to New York.
If they were American Express traveler's checks, there'll be no problem.
That's no problem.
I'll have your medicine sent to your hotel right away.
Right now, you have just over 2,000 membership rewards points.
Maybe you'd like to speak to one of our financial advisors.
Financial advisors?
Talk to me about where you want to be when you retire.
I reserved 4 seats. Will there be anything else?
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
We put it together, we pull it apart. We examine every aspect of human nature. The New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of meaning that others miss. The deeper you look, the more you see. The New York Times. Expect the world.
She knew where she was headed, and it wasn't to a bigger office with longer hours
where you phone home good nights to your kids. She has her own business now, and along the way found a broker who kept her focused on where she was going. She gave up the big office and a view, but what she's seeing is her kids growing up. How'd she get there?
More research, insight, understanding. Payne Weber. Invest with more intelligence.
Welcome back to McNichols Arena. The Knicks and the Nuggets meeting for the second time this season. The subject of our Coke Classic play, the earlier meeting in mid-December. And it was John Starks who came up with a big bucket, minute 14 left. And here's Starks with a three-pointer. This gave the Knicks an 85-80 lead, and they went on to win it 89-82 at Madison Square Garden, December 14th. Knicks have won 5 of the last 7 against Denver. They won the last 2 here at McNichols. They're trailing by 1, 23-22 as this first quarter winds down. Johnson posting up. And Oakley with the shot. Oh, nice turnaround move by McDyess. Nuggets now lead 25-22. 10 points for McDyess. And the Nuggets on a 9-2 run.
You can see Jeff Van Gundy as John Starks gets that shot off, responding to the thin air here. He's made several changes already in the first quarter.
Ellis lost it. Last touch by Starks. Down to 2:46 remaining in this first quarter. Knicks come in with 9 wins the last 11 games, 12 of the last 15, but the Nuggets continue the good run here as Ellis is able to knock down from deep along the right side for 27-22 lead. And here's Starks. John Starks driving it hard to the basket, and he thought he was fouled. Nuggets by 3. Goldwire.
Ellis taking Larry Johnson down low, trying to set up in the low post, and he does, and succeeds in drawing the foul. A lot of physical play going on with Ellis and Larry Johnson.
Charlie Ward is back, replacing Scott Brooks. Went 4 minutes, had a bucket for 2.
Ellis getting the ball down low, a little head fake, and that worked. He got Larry to leave the ground.
The Nuggets are 9 of 9 at the line.
You can see Ellis, his NBA career on the left, now in his 5th season, and this season quite a bit higher than the average. Of course, last year he only played 45 games. The year before, only 6 games because of his very severe knee injuries.
John Wallace has come on for the first time, replacing Larry Johnson. Open shot for Oakley. Yes. Well, Charles hitting the jumper. He now has 8, and the Knicks trail by 3.
The initial penetration by 1 or 2 of the Knicks guards, or really anybody, results in the defense clustering around him and then allowing for the outside pitch for the jumper, as Oakley just enjoyed.
Minute and a half to go in this first quarter. Once again, Antonio McDyess. He has 12 points. The Knicks have not had the answer for McDyess, who's given his club a 31-26 lead.
There's a lot of player in those sneakers. McDyess is a very tough guy to deal with.
And now McDyess will get a rest. Dale Ellis, the three-point specialist, will come on for McDyess. 3 of 5 from the field, 6 of 6 at the line. Antonio McDyess sitting down with 12 points. And it's a 15-4 run by Denver. John Wallace. Ellis on the move. This is a hot shooting club. They are now 11 for 19. They lead 33-26.
Well, you got to give credit to these guys. They're used to losing, and they're playing as though they have very full intentions of winning this game.
Starks, that was a three-point attempt. Here's Starks again. That's a three. And again, John Starks looking for a foul call. He felt that he took some contact. 33-29 Nuggets with a half minute left in the quarter. Ellis, a three for Ellis. He has 11 points. And the Nuggets are up by 7. A lot of points to be scored against the Knicks. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Oakley for three. Final seconds. Ellis.
And at the end of the first quarter, the score.
After one here in Denver. The Nuggets 36. The Knicks 29.
Are you all right, sir?
Isn't that heavenly?
I don't smell anything.
Precisely. Because Delta is the first U.S. airline to fly totally smoke-free worldwide. So it's clear skies anywhere you go.
Are you hyperventilating?
No, I'm English.
We could not deny the RAV4 our top ranking.
The RAV4 breaks expected molds.
The RAV4 rides a great deal better than many a sedan.
Handling in both RAV4 models is excellent.
The all-new RAV4 recreational activity vehicle starts at only $15,118. Maybe we should start calling it the Rave 4.
Driving it is great fun.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, American Express helps you do more. By Foot Locker, where it all begins. And by Toyota. I love what you do for me. Toyota.
Well, for John Starks and head coach Jeff Van Gundy, just a normal day on the road or perhaps at home at the Knicks shoot-around at the practice earlier today. There was another verbal confrontation, we're told, between John Starks and Jeff Van Gundy. And John, I know you talked about it with Jeff. Here's his response.
Well, it certainly wasn't a screaming match. It was an incident that happened in practice at the very end. I was not aware that the media had already been let in. And because it happened in practice, I'd rather just keep it private between me and him. It was about game preparation and getting ready to play. But those things should be kept between me and him since it was in practice.
You and John seem to have a relationship that has this occur once in a while. Is this one of those usual things?
Same old, John. You know, nothing changes. I wish it did at some point, but it won't.
Yes, it has been an ongoing, fiery relationship between Jeff Van Gundy and John Starks, which actually goes back to Jeff's days as an assistant coach.
I guess Jeff, in that final remark, just alludes to the fact that he wished it would change, that John Starks is John Starks, and he just lives with it because John does perform on the court.
Dale Ellis hitting that three as we were listening to Jeff Van Gundy, leading to the 22nd timeout taken by the Knicks. And there have been very few stops on the part of the Knicks defensively. The Nuggets with a 39-29 lead as the second quarter gets underway. Charlie Ward is back. Ward and Starks in the backcourt. Here's Starks. Yes. John Starks has had the hot hand. He has 7 points in his 5 minutes. The Nuggets by 8.
Knicks have to pay closer attention out to the perimeter game of the Nuggets. Dale Ellis is the all-time three-point man. He's made more than anyone in the history of the league.
And here is LaFonso Ellis with the air ball. It was fielded by Jerome Allen, but he could not get it off. Allen on the court for the first time. That pass intended for Wallace, broken up by Dale Ellis. Jerome Allen, one of the new members of the Nuggets, acquired from Indiana, the deal for Darvin Ham.
There's the numbers for Dale Ellis ahead of Reggie Miller, Person, Glenn Rice, Vernon Maxwell. Distinguished career from three-point shooting range.
And John Starks continues to show the touch. 39-33 the score. Loose ball foul.
Looked like Hammonds gave Oakley a push. He was behind Oakley, who had him boxed out.
Oakley tried to set the pick.
John Wallace wants that ball down low on Ellis.
And for Wallace, it is his first field goal, so the Knicks now trail by 4.
That is such a beautiful move, that turnaround jumper he has with that little fadeaway at the end of it.
Ellis for 3. Dale Ellis with his second from downtown.
John Wallace had lost his balance and fallen down, so Ellis had a good look at the basket.
That was intended for Wallace. He felt he was held. No call made. Substitutions. Antonio McDyess is back. Brooks Thompson checking in for the first time. The one-time member of the Orlando Magic, who's put up some good numbers for Denver. He's been a part-time starter. Had 5 three-pointers the other night in the loss to the Raptors. McDyess. Nice move, squeezing his way through to get off that shot.
Boy, Oakley came in strong for that rebound.
Here's Starks. And Buck Williams on the offensive glass. Oakley. Knicks just firing away from the perimeter.
Shaw's had a good look, too.
Ellis. And Oakley with the rebound. Ward leading Wallace. The Nuggets 42 and the Knicks 37.
Well, with Patrick Ewing getting a long rest, why his teammates in the front line are starting to come to life. Wallace once again delivering quickly off the bench.
No question the altitude and the ramifications of the fatigue possibilities figuring into the substitution patterns of Jeff Van Gundy. Ewing has played only 9 minutes. Here's Allen Houston returning, and now Patrick Ewing will make his way back, and we will also see Walter McCarty.
And Walter McCarty in for the
Charles Oakley, John Wallace, John Starks depart. Thompson will throw in for Denver. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres from McNichols Arena. Small crowd on hand. We're told there are 16,000 tickets out there. In other words, they did sell 16,000. Capacity is 17,100, but they did not show up with the McDyess again. Snow has been falling steadily for the last 3 hours. That plus the fact that the Denver Nuggets have not been an attractive ball club, obviously, with that record of 17-40. Here's Ward. Almost tipped home by Hammonds, and then Buck Williams took care of it.
Well, Ewing should get an assist. He kept the ball alive for Buck Williams.
So the Knicks are down by 5. Smallest crowd this year in the area of 8,500 here in Denver. Attendance is down by 35%. You look around this arena, a host of empty seats here tonight.
And we're told that 2 years ago the Nuggets sold out every game.
But this city lost faith in the Denver Nuggets. 35-47 last year. Did not make the playoffs. Here's Buck Williams. And Denver tried to take advantage of the Knicks on the transition, but the Knicks fall back.
That was nicely done, not only by Buck Williams, but also Allen Houston with the perfectly thrown pass to Buck.
And a foul is called.
Foul on Walter McCarty is first.
Walter McCarty getting some early playing time. Picks up the foul. The Knicks now have Ewing with McCarty and Buck Williams up front. In the backcourt, Houston and Ward.
With McCarty's appearance, Jeff Van Gundy now with 7:39 left in the first half has used 10 players.
Foul on Buck Williams. Well, the only available Knicks who has not played to this point, Herb Williams. Chris Childs sidelined by the sprained wrist, re-aggravated in the game the other night against Portland. Allen for three. And last touch by the Knicks. Buck Williams let it go. He thought that Denver had deflected it out. And there is Chris Childs. Playing hurt the last few games, trying to shake off the wrist injury. Chris also bothered by a sore right knee. And as McCarty took that pass, also took a shot, so he's fouled.
Foul on Dale Ellis is first. Second team foul.
Second team foul on the Nuggets. Ellis called for the foul as first. And a leg block. Kickball called on Thompson, so the Knicks will get a new 24.
McCarty has only played in now 23 of the Knicks' 58 games. But you know, Marv, as I recall, I don't think he's ever had an appearance where he has disappointed the coaching staff. I think every time we see McCarty, he does something that's positive. And I'm sure that makes Jeff Van Gundy feel good at the end of the 6-game road trip, particularly in the thin air here at Denver.
Well, an indication of the respect as we talk about Walter McCarty has just traveled, just explained the travel to Jeff Van Gundy. An indication of the respect, though, for McCarty, the fact that there were several other teams right around the trade deadline who inquired about his availability. The Nuggets lead by 3. 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. And here's Thompson for 3.
McCarty has been hounding Dale Ellis, which is quite a challenge for him.
Ewing. And the serve by McCarty, and Brooks Thompson looked to call for time, but he was out of bounds. It will be Nick Ball. Now Denver takes a timeout. We'll be right back.
Catch an exciting quarterfinal doubleheader from the MAC Conference Tournament, Saturday beginning at noon on MSG2.
Roy Tin Cup McAvoy is the best player to never hit the big time.
It's an easy game, this golf.
But ever since he met Dr. Molly Griswold,
I think I'm in love with you.
What?
he's been changing his whole approach.
I find him mildly attractive when he's obnoxious and arrogant like this.
That's his best side.
From the creator of Bull Durham,
Kind of like the old days, isn't it?
Kevin Costner, Rene Russo,
I highly recommend The Shovel.
Tin Cup.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV. You're a big basketball fan, and you like watching the big game, right? It's the second half of the season, and there are going to be a lot of big games you'll want to watch on the little dish. Well, with NBA League Pass on DirecTV Sports, you can watch up to 35 big regular season games a week. Watch up to 8 great matchups a night. Catch the big-time rivalries, like when the Bulls battle the Knicks, the Rockets challenge the Lakers, and the Heat takes on the Magic. All for just 3 monthly payments of $33 each. Call 1-800-3414-DTV right now. And we'll throw in the season broadcast schedule and this NBA League Pass DirecTV jacket absolutely free. Call now because this offer won't last long. NBA League Pass on DirecTV. The little dish that's talking big sports.
You might want to pick up a copy of tomorrow's New York Post and enter the MSG Network New York Post all-time favorite Knicks sweepstakes. prizes include a trip for 2 to the Knicks-Hawks game in Atlanta on April 5th. Also a lunch date at Madison Square Garden's play-by-play restaurant. Marv, I can't make out.
It says your name here.
Oh my God.
It's you, John. It's lunch with Johnny Hoops.
Wow. Also Knicks merchandise too, Marv.
What a treat.
And you're invited to tune in, of course, to MSG Network for all Knicks telecasts from March 18th to March 26th to see if you're a winner.
Irvin Johnson, who had just stepped back onto the court, picked up his 3rd foul, and he heads back to the bench, replaced by Tom Hammonds. The Nuggets lead 44-41. 6:25 remaining in this first half. 12-5 run by the Knicks the last 5 minutes. Illegal defense called for the first time against Denver.
Now on that little fake that Larry Johnson gave McDyess came up and blocked the shot, of course, after the whistle. But it'll be interesting now to see if Larry Johnson responds with a head fake to get a guy who loves to jump, get him off his feet, and then drive around him.
Knicks have the new 24. They have Johnson with Ewing and McCarty up front. Ward and Houston in the backcourt. Here's Ewing. Yes. 8 points for Patrick Ewing, and the Knicks are within 1.
Good move by the Knicks. Hammonds has been given a very difficult, if not impossible, job at 6'9" to deal with Ewing.
Stiff posting up on Houston. McCarty for 3. Walter McCarty with the open 3. And substitutions for the Nuggets. Anthony Goldwire, LaFonso Ellis checked back in.
McCarty has made, in very limited playing time, 2 3-point shots this year.
And here's Goldwire. Nuggets love to shoot from deep. They've hit a franchise record coming into tonight of 415 from 3-point range, and they're 6th in the league in 3-point shooting. Here's Johnson. Larry Johnson, 6 points for Johnson, and the Knicks have taken the lead. A 16-5 run by New York. Coming up on 5 minutes left in the first half. Ellis with the driving hook. And as they call him here, the Fonz, able to get the touch. He has 13 points. McDyess, the high man, with 14.
Ellis is a very spirited player, a very spirited person, actually, and he really plays the game with great enthusiasm.
Oh, Johnson nearly picked that one off. Ellis guarded by McCarty. Hammonds being played by Ewing. Shot clock at 7.
McCarty with an excellent box out of LaFonso Ellis.
And the Knicks call for time. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left. First half. We'll be back in Denver in a moment.
This is lacking, man. Oh, I don't know why. Who told you about this place? Guy at work. We've been here an hour. Music's great, huh? Have you looked around lately? What? Where are the women, man? Huh? Who told you about this place? Frank. Accounts payable Frank or accounts services Frank? Account services, Frank.
American Express, how can I help you? Mr. Carter, I have you booked on the next flight to Taipei.
Confirmed on that flight to New York.
If they were American Express traveler's checks, there'll be no problem.
That's no problem.
I'll have your medicine sent to your hotel right away.
Right now, you have just over 2,000 membership rewards points.
Maybe you'd like to speak to one of our financial advisors.
Financial advisors.
Talk to me about where you want to be when you retire.
I reserved 4 seats. Will there be anything else?
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
You know that feeling you get with ordinary contact lenses? It's the buildup of dirt and deposits.
Tell them about the free contacts.
I'm getting there, hon. That's why I called Johnson & Johnson at 1-800-701-6100 and got a free trial pair of AccuView from my doctor. AccuView always gives me the comfort of fresh new lenses.
They know about the free pair?
They know. AccuView is the lens doctors prescribe most often.
Mr. Curtis?
Even for you.
They know where to call?
They know. Change to AccuView for more comfortable contacts.
Well, with 4:15 left in the first half, the Knicks have caught up just about with the Nuggets, 46-45. We want you to know that Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. on S+, the Knicks return home to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've heard of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Marv. They just jumped to the front of the line last night, didn't they?
How about the victory over the Chicago Bulls and holding the Bulls to 11 points in one quarter? That Mike Fratello has some brilliant assistants on his staff. They have done a terrific job.
They sure did. What was most remarkable in that game to me was the fact that the Cavaliers, playing against a team that can really play defense, had only 4 turnovers. Unbelievable. I guess they'll be fat when they come to the Garden Sunday, distracted with their greatness, right?
Well, they play the Celtics in Boston on Saturday and then on to Madison Square Garden for Sunday. Looks like some pieces of glass, and I'm told the Denver mascot accidentally broke a mirror. Now, I was not watching the mascot do his thing during the timeout, but why was he holding a mirror, John?
Probably looking at himself, Marv, because it's a very attractive mascot here.
We wanted to get a shot of the mascot, but obviously he has run away, embarrassed by this all. And we have the momentary delay, and now it looks like it has been cleaned up.
Rocky, the mascot, has been sent to his room, or to his cage, I should say.
The Knicks trailing 46-45 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Larry Johnson attempting the 3, and a loose ball foul. It's on Ewing. That is his second. Ewing pushing out, vying for that rebound. And for the Knicks, their 4th team foul. Denver has 3. The Nuggets only 9 up and 18 down here at home. That's the 4th worst home record. Pass from Stith deflected, and the Knicks back to the offense.
Ewing did a good job with the hands up, helping out to deflect that pass.
Oakley working on McDyess. And his pass picked off by Goldwire.
What speed Goldwire has. Boy, he got that ball before he got to half court, and there was no question he was gone.
Anthony Goldwire signed with Charlotte last January out of the CBA. Had some good moments with the Hornets, but out of the rotation this season. And Starks took a poke from behind from Goldwire. Anthony Goldwire acquired along with George Zedek in exchange for Ricky Pierce.
Oakley threw that what looked like a bullet pass, but Goldwire was there ahead of it.
Knicks down by 3. Ewing, yes. 10 points for Patrick Ewing.
Boy, he left Tom Hammonds in the distance when he spun away.
Look out, Ewing with the rebound and lost his balance. Last touch by the Nuggets. Jeff Van Gundy gave the Knicks a day off yesterday, and Patrick Ewing took the team out to dinner last night here in Denver. Picked up the tab.
Very nice.
John, you can learn from that.
I think we all can, Marv, actually.
All right, here's Ewing. And deflected out by the Nuggets.
We do have an estimated cost of that dinner for these fellows who, as you know, Marv, don't eat heartily. The number came in at about 1,500 clams.
John, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. You are a very generous individual. Here's Johnson. Johnson Not able to come up with that loose ball. Ellis did. Stiff. Going glass. And the Nuggets now lead 50-47. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
John Starks doing a little point guard role now with the Knicks missing Chris Childs tonight.
Ewing with the drop step. Oh, what a move. Patrick Ewing spinning his way. He has 12. And the Knicks are down by 1. Oh, what a play. The catch by the leaping McDyess. And was able to hammer it down. He has 16 points.
You know, you think of Denver and leaping. I do a flashback to David Thompson, you know, when I look at McDyess, also one of the great leapers in professional basketball history. But McDyess, about 5 inches taller than Thompson, can really sky.
Johnson for 3.
It's getting pretty basic now. When Ewing gets the double team, someone's open, and they're not recovering very quickly. So Larry Johnson had a long look at the basket.
Johnson has tied the game at 52. Oakley call for the foul. That is his second. And it puts the Knicks over the foul limit. Here's McDyess. He is 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Only a 67% free throw shooter.
We talked about McDyess and his earlier and his turnover problem, which has been a subject here in Denver. Here's David Thompson's number 33, along with Alex English, one of the all-time great players in the NBA. Alex, in his quiet way, really got it done. But McDyess, with turnover problems while leading the Nuggets, saying he's just having a lot of trouble recognizing when he's double-teamed who's open. And he got a lot of help, though, in that department from the recently traded LaSalle Thompson, who was here until traded last week by Denver. LaSalle worked a lot with McDyess, and I'm sure he learned a lot and picked up a lot. He's going to miss him, though.
McDyess with 20 turnovers the last 5 games to try to cut down on that number. Nuggets 54 and the Knicks 52. Just under a minute left in the half. Traveling violation is called. The Knicks winding up this long, grueling 6-game road trip. Back at the Garden Sunday for the Cleveland Cavaliers, while Denver continues a homestand on Sunday. Larry Johnson from Charles Oakley, and the game is tied at 54.
Well, Tom Hammonds took a nap and lost track of Larry.
Goldwire rushing shots. Half minute to go in this first half. At one point, Denver led by as many as 10, and the Knicks have taken the lead. Allen Houston giving the Knicks a 56-54 advantage.
So Ewing's presence is resulting in the Nuggets simply being worn down, and that's a predictable outcome of what should happen in this game.
10 seconds in the half. McDyess. Final seconds. Stiff. And that is the end of the first half. So the Knicks able to come from behind in the second quarter. Off the good shooting by Patrick Ewing, his 12 points in all. Larry Johnson has 11. It is the Knicks 56 and the Nuggets 54. Coming up, the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. We'll be checking in with Gus Johnson in just a moment. Back here in Denver after these words.
Catch an exciting quarterfinal doubleheader from the MAC Conference Tournament, Saturday beginning at noon on MSG2.
Max never went looking for trouble. Trouble just seemed to find him. And now he's got a genie.
Make your 3 wishes.
Who just won't get out of his face.
Gotta want something, kid.
I wish I had junk food to the sky.
Shaquille O'Neal, Kazam.
I am Kazam.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
Doug Kinney is getting duplicated.
Your clone.
He's got one for work.
Yeah, it's me. It's you. It's us. Oh, hold on a second. Too busy to talk to myself.
One for home.
I'll get the dishes, now drive the kids to school.
Thanks.
And one
We made a copy of a copy. It's not quite as sharp as the original.
too many.
Is he safe with that razor? We take the blade out. It's cute, I think.
Multiplicity.
No more Dougs. That's it. This is plenty, I think.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
You can scream. You can run. But you can't hide. He's coming. Eddie Murphy is the Nutty Professor.
Your lip.
Whoop.
Your lip is swollen.
The Nutty Professor.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Back at McNichols in Denver. Good shooting first half for the Knicks, 53%. Shot well in the second quarter, 13 of 24, and they've taken a 56-54 lead on the Nuggets. You're watching the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. There's only one Jeep. It is only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. Now to Gus Johnson in New York.
All right, Marv, 11 games on the schedule in the NBA this evening, and the New Jersey Nets, one of those teams in action, taking on the Golden State Warriors, who's on a 6-game road trip, winless during this road trip until tonight as they go on to beat the Nets 117-108. Head on out to the Meadowlands, and John Calipari and the Nets desperately looking for a win, but you have to stop Latrell Sprewell. Here's Sprewell with a pretty drive through the lane, splitting the defenders for 2 points. Kendall Gill, a one-man show for the Nets. He comes up with the steal. And they lob it to Gill down low, who jams it in. But it was Sprewell, the big factor for Golden State. On the break, here he is, power jams. And the Golden State Warriors go on to win it 117-108. Second half, Warriors on the break again, Sprewell for 3. 117-108, the final score. Elsewhere, without Alonzo Mourning, the Miami Heat, they've lost 2 of their last 3 ball games, and after winning a franchise record 11 straight games tonight, they are at home taking on the Seattle Supersonics. Let's head on out to the Miami Arena. Sly Stallone in attendance, watching the NBA. Second quarter, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, they work the give and go. Kemp inside, and he'll jam it down. But George Karl saw Tim Hardaway bring this Miami Heat club back. Hardaway spotting up behind the three-point line, and he gets the roll. Tim Hardaway not finished. Once again, they reverse it to him. Pulls up straight and buries it. And right now in the fourth quarter, 80-79, Miami with the lead. In college basketball, the Northeast Conference Tournament going on this week, and the Blackbirds from LIU could be the only team from the New York area to go to the NCAA tournament. They won the regular season tournament, and right now taking on Marist, and they go on to win this game by 10 points. Now, the world champion New York Yankees will began exhibition play today, and we'll talk about that right after this.
Thank you. I've just had this most extraordinary phone call from Delta Airlines. It seems they have this intrepid team of meteorologists who spotted a weather problem ahead on my next flight. So they moved things around and then actually rang me up with a reroute. Now, instead of sitting and circling, I'll continue whining and dining and still stick to my schedule. Very civilized, wouldn't you say? Cheers.
Do you know which one ingredient makes my arch deluxe so great? It's not just one.
That was a trick question. It's all the ingredients of my Arch Deluxe that make it taste so great.
Nice hat. McDonald's Arch Deluxe.
I made it for you. You know, when I created my Crispy Chicken Deluxe, I knew you'd love it. That crisp chicken filet. It's right up your alley.
McDonald's Crispy Chicken Deluxe.
Hey, I have my name on my shirt, too. I made it for you.
You've become a serious player in the global marketplace. Now, you're looking for a serious partner with the resources to reach every country, reduce paperwork, even help speed packages through customs. Luckily, who you need to know, you know already. Global delivery services from the U.S. Postal Service. Ask for the world. We'll deliver.
And welcome back. The world champion New York Yankees began exhibition play today against the St. Louis Cardinals, and they start the Grapefruit League out on a good note as they go on to beat the Cardinals 7-3. Frank Torrey throwing out the first pitch of the spring, and happy to see him out there. Bottom one after Royce Clayton home run off Doc Gooden. Put the Cards up 1-0. Mark Whitten went opposite field, and he hit a home run. Tied at 1 for Joe Torre's squad. Bottom 5, Cards up 3-2 on a Tom Pagnozzi home run when Big Daddy, Cecil Fielder, gets all of it off Tom McGraw, who spent last year in Trenton. 5-3 Yankees. Bottom 6, Tim Raines atoning for a drop fly ball. Doubles down the left field line. That'll score Pat Kelly, and the Yankees go on to win it by a score of 7-3. Mariano Rivera also pitching pretty well. He gets the strikeout. New York Yankees successful in their first game of the exhibition season. Coming up next, more Knicks basketball.
You've got a lot to plan for. Retirement. College. Now there's City Select Mutual Funds to make smart investing simple. City Select funds combine stocks, bonds, and cash to give you a full level of diversification in one smart investment. And it's simple because there's 4 choices, from relatively conservative to more aggressive. Make smart investing simple. City Select, only through Citicorp Investment Services at Citibank. Call now. The city never sleeps.
We look at it forwards, we look at it backwards. We offer a voice where there was none. The New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of perspective that others miss. It's all in how you look at it. The New York Times. Expect the world.
The New York State Lotto jackpot is now $25 million. Thank you.
New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
Catch an exciting quarterfinal doubleheader from the MAC Conference Tournament, Saturday beginning at noon on MSG2.
This isn't my chair, it's your chair. Those are your kids, those are your frequent flyer statements. These are your people.
Good morning, Mr. B.
Morning,
Mr. B.
You sit in this chair, you can find out anything.
This your sales meet marketing budget.
Margins on last thing tubing.
But you're not in this chair. You're on a plane, and your people are all over the world. So how do you let everybody know what's going on right now, at this very second? Hey!
A profession as old as time. In the game of espionage, there are no rules, no safety, no way out.
Your former team members have been assassinated.
No place to hide, no one to trust. Hard way out.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
Some of our announcers' clothing is furnished by Perry Ellis Menswear.
Welcome back to Denver, where the Knicks lead the Nuggets 56-54. At the half, a look at the halftime scoring summary brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee, the perfect combination of luxury, safety, and ruggedness. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Look at the numbers. Patrick Ewing came on in the second quarter. 5 of 10 for 12 points in his 17 minutes. Larry Johnson 4 for 7 from the field, including 1 3-pointer. He has 11. 9 for Starks, 8 for Oakley, 6 for Houston, with Jeff Van Gundy using most of his roster. Antonio McDyess, 18 points. That includes 8 of 8 at the free throw line. LaFonso Ellis, 5 of 10, 13 points. Denver having its way in the first quarter, but that 16-5 run by the Knicks midway through the second quarter helping turn things around. And John, I thought you were affected by the altitude early, but a very strong second quarter. A little huffing and puffing in the early going.
I'm a competitor, Marv. I've come to play.
I would never doubt that.
I'm glad you feel that way. Meanwhile, the Knicks are doing a terrific job. I think one of the areas they've gotten under control in the last game and a half now is the turnover problem. They only had 10 against Portland the other night. The first half here tonight, only 6. So they're doing a good job protecting the basketball. Even though there's only a 2-point difference, you get a feeling of dominance here by the Knicks, particularly in the second quarter.
All right, a look at some of the highlights from that first half. And the halftime highlights brought to you by Jeep Wrangler, the official top-down fun in the sun on and off-road vehicle from Jeep.
Well, Antonio McDyess, the NBA sophomore, with a lot of problems with good play by him. A lot of problems for the Knicks. One of his 5 field goals in the first half. LaFonso Ellis, also no surprise that he's doing so well in this game. He's having a fine year after a slow start because of injuries. He's rolling now, as Walter McCarty found out. That very soft hook shot. And Patrick Ewing, who had a chance to get a breather here and there in the first half, also had his selection of fine moves. That baseline jump shot looked like it was going out, but it bounced right in the hole. Ewing, a major problem for Denver. They just don't have anybody to deal with him. Larry Johnson got a perfect lead pass. The defense fell asleep, and he enjoyed a chance to slam one down from on high.
And Denver ends up shooting 44% for the first half. The Knicks at 53% shooting. You've been watching the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report right here on the MSG Network.
Send your package in 2 days with FedEx, and people are impressed. Cost about $8.
Send your package in 2 days with UPS, and people are impressed. Cost about $6.
Send your package in 2 to 3 days with priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service, and people are impressed. Cost $3.
So, 8, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Les Mis.
How about Phantom?
Well, I want to see Les Mis.
Well, I want to see Phantom!
So enough about me. Tell me about yourself.
I lived in the 13th century.
Oh, really?
I was the wife of a peasant farmer in England. A lot of work.
Okay, that's interesting.
I prefer this life, though. It's a lot easier.
Well, I can imagine so. Electricity, plumbing.
Absolutely.
Listen, are there any other lives I should know about?
In the 16th century, I was a man.
Okay.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Hertz. For business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz. By McDonald's. Have you had your break today? And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Center.
Well, as we get ready to head to the third quarter, the Knicks have a 2-point lead on the Denver Nuggets. Closed captioning is brought to you by Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the best of health. A look at the statistics in the first half. The Knicks picking up the shooting in the second quarter, 25 of 47 overall for the 53%. Neither club lighting it up from downtown. The Knicks 2 of 9. The Nuggets 3 for 7. Nuggets perfect at the free throw line. 13 of 13 at the line. Antonio McDyess 8 of 8 at the foul line.
Also surprising when a team can hit so well from the field on the road. The Knicks at 53%. The rebounding, Knicks are dominating there, only slightly, however. Assists. How about Charles Oakley with 5 assists in the first half? His season high is 7. And the bench has been a big story for the Knicks. Jeff Van Gundy, recognizing fatigue and thin air, went to the bench and got results. Our Toyota matchup featuring the small forwards on each team, pretty much of a standoff. LaFonso Ellis doing well with 13, but Larry Johnson stepping up with a fine first half in just about all the categories.
And there is one-time Knick, one-time Nugget, Glenn Gondrezick, second-round draft pick of the Knicks back in 1977. Spent 2 years with the Knicks. Crowd loved his hustling kamikaze style. Finished his career with the Nuggets, and John is now the color commentating voice of UNLV basketball. Glenn Gondrezick. Well, the Knicks will open up the second half with Larry Johnson, Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, and Charlie Ward playing for the injured Chris Childs. Childs sitting out with the sprained wrist. The Knicks looking for win number 42. Coming into tonight, a game and a half behind Miami. And they've won 9 of the last 11, 12 of the last 15. This will wind up the road trip. The Knicks back home for Cleveland on Sunday night. That'll be an S+ game, the second of 4 meetings against the Cavaliers as we check out the Delta schedule. The Knicks winning in Cleveland late January in that thriller 75 to 65. The Cavs' lowest point total ever. Milwaukee Tuesday, and then at Toronto on Wednesday. A look at the week ahead for the Knicks. In the fourth quarter, Miami now leading Seattle 77-73. Third quarter getting underway here in Denver, and the loose ball foul is called. It is on Oakley. That's 3 on Oakley. The Nuggets with Goldwire and Stiff at the guards. Ellis, McDyess, and Johnson up front. Ewing with the block. So Patrick Ewing with his second blocked shot of the game.
Very impressive when a man 6'9", impressive from the defensive standpoint, has his shot blocked as Ewing just did.
And Charlie Ward stepped out of bounds. So the Nuggets will get it back. Denver at 17-40. They have lost their last 5, 8 of the last 9. That's since the All-Star break. Their previous game here in Denver this past Tuesday, they were beaten in overtime by Toronto. And McDyess gets inside. He's tied the game at 56. McDyess has 20 points. Houston. Air ball. Just did ripple the net. Stiff guarded by Houston. Here's McDyess, blocked by Ewing. Well, Patrick Ewing has been switched off to Antonio McDyess.
And so far so good with 2 blocks.
Johnson getting position. 13 points for Johnson, and the Knicks are up by 2.
In their first meeting on December 14th in New York, McDyess was shooting that jump shot as he does now. Then, but when the second half began, he had 2 blocked by Ewing. But McDyess's confidence wasn't bothered by Ewing blocking those first 2 as he just hits that jumper.
Game is tied at 58. 2 minutes gone by, third quarter. Allen Houston doing it off the dribble and was pushed by Stiff. For the Nuggets, this is game 2 of a 3-game homestand that was preceded by 6 in a row on the road. A very tough trip, including games at Chicago, at Orlando, at Miami. The one win on that trip was at Philadelphia. They double up on Johnson. Oakley. Charles following up the shot, but deflected out by Ewing, and Denver will take over. Well, the Nuggets averaging better than 19 turnovers over the last 9 games through that poor streak.
Also, that home record at 9-18 coming in tonight certainly isn't where they want to be.
Knicks and Nuggets tied at 58. Here's Ward scooping it home. Charlie Ward with his first field goal, and the Knicks lead by 2. Goldwire working for the shot. Ward cut off the baseline. Ellis forced into a difficult shot by Johnson. Oh, Ellis turned his back, and Johnson able to beat him.
Charlie Ward with the head up, as it should be, picked him out, too, and delivered that ball perfectly.
Knicks 62, Nuggets 58. 8.5 to go, third quarter. The Knicks defense tightening up from mid-second quarter on, and you can see the difference right here in contrast to what took place in the first quarter. McDyess from deep.
This man is trouble.
Well, he has shown the outside touch. We know he can take it to the hoop. We know about the leaping ability. He has 24 points, and the Knicks lead is now 2. Oakley got the step, and he drew the foul. That's number 1 on McDyess.
Oakley got the respect by being played very tightly and drove as a result. We're just talking about since the All-Star break, 1-8, the turnover problem for Denver, poor home record, and not good when the games are close either. Only 7-18 in games decided by 6 points or less.
Sometimes that's a statistic that is used in a positive fashion during the offseason, but as that famed philosopher Bill Parcells often has said, you are what you are. If you lose those games, there's a reason. You're a bad ball club. Charles Oakley at the line.
Well, this franchise recently was turned over to Alan Bristow recently, replacing Bernie Bickerstaff. And last week, right after Alan Bristow made several trades, which resulted in 4 players departing and 5 players coming here to Denver, he sat down with what he calls his team core: Stiff, Ellis, LaFonso Ellis, Antonio McDyess, and Irvin Johnson, and explained the plans of the Denver Nuggets, which revolve around new players, going young, and getting people who can run. That's what they want here, running, because in Denver, that's the only way to go if you're the home team.
That because of the altitude problem. And when the Nuggets were successful in previous years, they usually were a running ball club. Goldwire forced it. Ewing shake it up, landed on his head, and a 20-second timeout is taken by the Knicks.
As Ewing attempted to draw the charge, there was contact, but the officials, as you'll see now, see Goldwire charging into Ewing. The officials didn't allow a foul to be called, but Ewing, when he went down, banged his head on the floor. As you can see, Ewing taking the charge, then hitting the floor. And drags himself up.
And now Patrick Ewing back at the Knicks bench.
The officials viewed the contact as incidental, not enough to call a foul.
And it appears that Buck Williams will come on for Patrick Ewing.
Buck Williams coming in the game for the Knicks for Patrick Ewing.
It will be Nick Ball. They're up by 4, 7:35 remaining in the third quarter. Brooks and Houston out in the backcourt. Williams, Oakley, and Johnson up front. Houston putting the spin on Stiff and travel.
Houston has done well with Stiff drawing a foul a couple of times on the drive. He certainly hasn't gotten going in a big-time way. Stiff is a very fine defender. He's a terrific player. I think he's one of those unsung people who any team in the NBA would love to have. He can do many things. The man with the ball right now.
Well, in recent years, when people have called the Denver Nuggets talking trade, it's stuffed home by LaFonso Ellis, the first name that has come up. Brian Stiff. This prior to the foot problem, but he is a valued guy, and the feeling is on a strong team would be a solid player, a missing piece type of player. Brian Stiff in his 5th year out of Virginia. Johnson. And Buck Williams able to keep it alive. Here's Allen Houston for 3. Rebounded by McDyess, and he threw it away. Oh, Scott Brooks able to recapture. Houston. Allen Houston not able to put it down on the stuff.
Irvin Johnson was there to deflect it.
Stiff for 3. And back come the Knicks.
Jeff Van Gundy making it very clear what he wants to see now.
Scott Brooks. And rebounded by Johnson. Well, the pace is picked up, but neither club able to score the last couple of minutes. Knicks lead 64-62, 5:45 remaining in the third. A drop step move, and Ellis not able to hit. And the Knicks want to talk it over. Timeout taken. Knicks 64 and the Nuggets 62.
Nuggets fans, direct to it.
Starting Thursday for 3 days only, don't miss the incredible open box sale at Nobody Beats the Wiz. 10 to 60% off every box already open for any reason. All brands, new and demos, thousands of prices slash. Save 10 to 60% off every open box. Big screen TVs, computers, audio systems, speakers, camcorders, telephones. If it's an open box, the price is cut. Really cut. For 3 days only.
I'll take this one.
Our greatest open box sale ever ends Saturday at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
So, you want to see my Discover Card statement? I am very, very prissy. What up for shut up? I love to be pampered. I go have my hair done. I love to go have my nails done, have pedicures, manicures. My biggest weakness would have to be shoes. Cashback bonus award really floats my boat.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
I am definitely a shopaholic.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Minolta presents Vectus Big Bang Technology, recreating the world of photography. Worry-free film pops in, threads itself, pops out, even switch mid-roll. 1, 2, and 3 photo shapes. Vectus prints show date, occasion, even happy birthday. Photo record shows a whole roll at a glance. Vectus, an explosive line of cameras with Big Bang technology.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
Vectus.
The Knicks with a 64-62 lead on the Nuggets. Red Auerbach, 938 wins. Dick Motta, 7 wins away from Red Auerbach. Lenny Wilkins, of course, on top. John talked with the Denver coach, Dick Motta, earlier and asked, will he be here long enough in Denver to overtake Red Auerbach?
I don't know. We haven't crossed that bridge. I didn't want to be a lame duck when I took this over. I was just here helping Bernie, and I talked to Cotton Fitzsimmons, and he thought that was a mistake to have been a lame duck coach this year. And so I signed a contract for next year, but next year seems like 50 years away, and records have never been an integral part of my drive. If I'd have been interested in records, I'd have stayed in Dallas. We'd won 55 games with the youngest team in the league and had 5 extra first-round draft choices. I'd have probably had 1,500 wins by now in the league if that was my motivating factor. That's pretty shallow motivation.
Well, I don't know about 1,500 wins, Marv, but he has 25 games to go, including tonight's game, to get those 8 wins to pass Red Auerbach. And I was querying him as to whether he would come back next year if they fell a game or two short for that honor.
Yeah, a lot of people around the NBA have said they love when you query them, John. McDyess again showing the outside touch. The Knicks lead is now 66-64. Dick Motta, 65 years old. He coached the Washington Bullets to the NBA championship back in '78, and one of his assistants was Bernie Bickerstaff, who hired him here. Some sloppy play ends up in the hands of McDyess, who's fouled by Brooks.
John Starks isn't happy because it looked like he was rocked or fouled when that ball got loose, and he's containing his feelings right now.
The Knicks continuing to shuffle the lineup. They now have Brooks and Starks in the backcourt. It counts, and the foul. Ellis able to beat his man. He beat John Wallace, and Wallace called on that foul.
Ellis with good position. Wallace, however, tried to front. Knicks big men do that a lot. Almost all the time, but in that case, he had no help. You've got to discriminate. If you're going to gamble with no help, you better be right.
So the Knicks and the Nuggets are tied at 66. 4.5 left, third quarter. Starks played by Stiff. Buck Williams with the pick. It frees up Starks to 3. Buck Williams keeping it alive, and it was deflected out. Just Kersey took a long look and says last touched by Denver. And Patrick Ewing, apparently all right after hitting his head on the floor moments ago, is back in, replacing Charles Oakley, who sits down with 10 points, 10 rebounds. Ewing over Johnson.
You let up for a second with Ewing and allow him to get that super position, you're dead.
Basket won't count. A foul on Starks.
John Starks with the second foul. 14th foul.
So Anthony Goldwire to the line, playing his 4th game as a member of the Denver Nuggets. 77% free throw shooter.
What he's looking forward to is being part of the future for this franchise next year. And tell you, Marv, with his speed and the job he's done now in only 4 games, why, he's been very impressive.
The game is tied at 68, just under 4 remaining in the third. Ball slapped away from Buck Williams, and a foul on McDyess. That is his second, and number 4 on the Nuggets. Knicks now have a front line of Ewing with Buck Williams, Wallace, Brooks, and Starks in the backcourt. Scott Brooks getting the playing time tonight due to the injury suffered by Chris Childs, who is sitting it out. Buck Williams posting up. And he did it with the right hand. That's the injured hand.
Yeah, after hitting a couple of jumpers the other night in Portland, showing that he can use the right hand.
The Knicks lead 70-68. Ellis fed by McDyess and fouled. LaFonso Ellis back to the line. Foul on Ewing. That is 3. McDyess is, Ellis is 2 of 3 at the line.
You know, when you look at LaFonso Ellis and McDyess as the starting forwards on this team, I don't care who you are, you're a coach, you're a general manager, you're pretty happy. Irvin Johnson developing, but not strong enough to push this team forward. But the backcourt, when that gets settled, why they're going to be tough. The real weak area for this Denver team is their bench right now.
Oh, Buck Williams with a terrific play to get to that rebound, and it leads to the foul. Foul on McDyess. And suddenly Antonio McDyess having difficulties underneath against Buck Williams.
Well, Buck Williams is such a strong competitor. He seems to give his very best in every rebounding situation, and there you can see Buck reflecting the pain in his right hand.
Another strong performance by Buck Williams. 7 points, 7 rebounds in his 15 minutes. Scott Brooks sitting down, replaced by Charlie Ward. Allen Houston will come on.
Houston replaces Wallace.
And the Knicks are going to a 3-guard alignment for the first time tonight.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy is really moving his players around like pawns in a chess game, Marv, and getting results. I think the team, considering the length of this trip, they're at the end of the road, they're in the thin air, they're competing very well and look very strong. Knicks haven't had dead spots.
Knicks by 3. 3 minutes remaining in the third. So Ellis with 20 points. The high man is McDyess with 26. The Knicks 72, the Nuggets 71.
Ewing cut across the middle, hoping to get the pass, but Houston thought he couldn't reach him.
Here's Ward for 3. Charlie Ward from downtown. 5 points for Ward. 3-pointer by Ellis. And Stiff able to leap for that rebound. The Bulls bouncing back after the loss last night as Stiff, well, he thought McDyess was cutting. Bulls walloping Sacramento this evening in the fourth quarter. Timeout is called. Knicks by 4.
Catch an exciting quarterfinal doubleheader from the MAC Conference Tournament, Saturday beginning at noon on MSG2.
A father and his son square off in a head-to-head half-court battle. The father, a former NFL star, can't stop his son.
Hill gets the basket. What a terrific play by Grant Hill.
Playing his dad made Grant Hill feel like he could do anything. And now, on court in the NBA, he can.
Thanks, Dad.
See the NBA's best every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday night on TNT and TBS. Don't miss a game.
I think I did it. The experiment was a success.
Who'd be interested in this technology?
Cheap, abundant energy. Who wouldn't?
Until someone terminated the project. Now, the only survivors.
Someone setting us up.
Have become the only suspects.
So we can't trust anyone.
From the director of The Fugitive.
The best I can!
Keanu Reeves, Morgan Freeman. Chain Reaction.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
Gus Johnson back at the sports desk. Miami taking on Seattle at home. Time winding down. Heat down by 1. They swing it all the way around to Vashawn Leonard. His shot deflected by Gary Payton. Seattle holds on to win it 96-95. The Heat have lost 3 of 4.
All right, Gus, as we resume here in Denver, Patrick Ewing was fouled. And he's headed to the line. The Nuggets now over the foul limit. Foul on Ellis, his second.
We talked about Patrick Ewing at the Open about his rebounding of late, over 18 rebounds a game over the last 3 games of this trip. He's now in the 7th position in the NBA, averaging 11 rebounds a game.
Knicks lead 76-71 with 1:45 remaining. Third quarter. Shot clock at 4. Ellis. Johnson racing for it. Looked to call for time, and he got a 20-second timeout to save the possession. Jeff Van Gundy upset. He felt that Johnson was out of bounds. So it will be Denver ball when we resume, and they'll have the full 24. So with the Miami Heat losing to Seattle, if the Knicks can win here, they will pick up a full game and move within a half game of Miami in the race for the lead in the Atlantic. There's Kenny Smith, recent addition to the Denver Nuggets squad, but he's on the injured list with a knee problem. Sarunas Marciulionis also out, recovering from arthroscopic knee surgery. .125 left in the third. Stiff met by the double team. Here's Goldwire for 3.
That was a very tough defensive stance by the Knicks.
Charlie Ward. Oh, he picked up his dribble beautifully. And he's given the Knicks a 78-71 advantage. Their biggest lead of the night with a minute to go in the third.
Everybody on the Knicks bench wearing a suit is yelling, get up on those guys.
Here's the open 3 for Ellis. The Knicks 78, Nuggets 74, 23 points for LaFonso Ellis. Ewing getting some room from Irvin Johnson, and he took advantage.
Yes, Johnson playing him with his hands down. Not good.
17 for Ewing, and the Knicks lead by 6. Goldwire for 3. Goldwire now 2 of 10 shooting. Down to 15 seconds in the third quarter. The Knicks lead is 6. Knicks looking to spread it out as Houston handles against Ellis and fires. He's been off. Ewing. And that's the end of the third. After 3 quarters in Denver, it's the Knicks 80, the Nuggets 74.
Well, guess that answers that question.
Here we are, sunny Phoenix, all for free.
All we had to do was tell a little lie.
Nah, telling the truth gets you nowhere.
At British Airways, we'll give you a free ticket to anywhere in the USA if you fly our business class to London and can honestly say it's not the best in the air.
What'd you get on it, Don?
Partied.
Really? Eagled it.
The business class guarantee.
Can't believe we got away with it.
Honestly, you'll love it.
You know, AT&T is making long-distance calls from home simple. And now, a guarantee.
Guarantee?
Yeah, okay. If you're not satisfied that their prices are competitive, you get a month of long-distance free.
Up to $100 worth.
Right.
I have AT&T. It's the best value. They got the most powerful network.
Yeah. What if I call You know, somebody? if you have any questions, just call it.
1-800-COMPARE.
I have this sister.
This is not the time.
AT&T quality, service, and guaranteed competitive prices, so you never have to worry about long-distance prices again.
You'll need a submarine to get that one out, Colonel.
Me and 3 kings. That's a foursome.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the United States Postal Service. We deliver for you. By Minolta, the official camera of the Garden. And by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
The Knicks able to turn things around in the second quarter. At 1 point in the second, they were down by 10, 39-29, which means the familiar pattern has continued if the Knicks can come from behind once again and pull it out. They have won 11 games this season after trailing by 10 or more. Wednesday in Portland down by 15, and they were able to win it in overtime, and it's been a series of similar scenarios. So they trailed by as many as 10 tonight. Right here they lead by 6 as this fourth quarter gets underway.
Game in New York was tight when they met in mid-December. In fact, Denver had a 9-point lead in the third quarter, and it was some last-second fine shooting by John Starks and Chris Childs, who led the Knicks in that game with 20 points that pulled the game out for the Knicks.
Ewing with the shot clock running down. Box out by McDyess. Dice with only 4 rebounds. But the stats don't tell the story. He's been able to keep the ball alive on several occasions. Oh, Irvin Johnson coming up with that loose ball. And Allen Houston to the boards. Ward gives it back to Starks. 3-point attempt. And Charlie Ward able to hustle it down. Finding Oakley. Charles Oakley blew the layup. Charles with the fake, and then too strong.
Well, he had 6'11" Irvin Johnson intimidating him with his presence.
The Knicks 80, and the Nuggets 74. Here's Ellis for 3.
He needs very little time to get that shot off.
That's his second from 3-point range. And it brings Denver within 3. Down to 7 on the 24. Houston stripped by Stiff. Last touch by Stiff. Substitutions: Larry Johnson, Scott Brooks, replacing Patrick Ewing, and Charlie Ward. Ewing with 17 points, 8 rebounds. And the pass broken up. Here's Ellis. That was a 3-point attempt. Scott Brooks getting the playing time tonight. Played 10 minutes. Being watched by Brooks, Thompson, Johnson. Being checked by McDyess. Here's Larry Johnson. He has been hitting on the post-up move. 17 for Johnson.
See what happens when he doesn't draw the double team. He can be very tough on his opponent.
The Knicks 82, the Nuggets 77. Oh, good luck from Thompson, finding Stiff.
That's a terrific play. They cleared out the middle for that play alone, and Stiff, with a good jumping ability, soared up for that.
The Knicks lead is now 3. 9.5 to go, fourth quarter.
Larry Johnson wants more.
And he lost the dribble. The save, the diving save by McDyess. Johnson. Well, he turned and Oakley dropped off. Irvin Johnson able to go glass. And it cuts it to a 1-point Knicks lead. The Knicks take a timeout.
Wise.
There's something on my Discover card statement that's a surprise. It's seafoam green. It looks like something from the 50s. It looks vintage. My husband will absolutely freak out when he sees it. He's going to be so excited. I like makeup because I never wore very much before I started singing professionally. My favorite color is a color called faux, as in fake. Voila. How many credit cards make a statement like that? The more you spend, the more money you get back. You can't lose. It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Gravity by Foot Locker. Of all the laws of nature, you are my least favorite.
It's not your fault you exist, but gravity.
You are no friend of mine. You do not belong in my house. Though you show up every morning. I defy you, Gravity. You are not my obstacle.
That grin you see, that's me knowing I will beat you.
If only for an instant. Even if it's just for an instant. Foot Locker, where it all begins and gravity ends.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, to drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Well, Larry Johnson got a good isolated opportunity a moment ago. Nobody figured they needed to help down low. He went one-on-one, and as you can see, executed a beautiful shot. McDyess, who can be a very tough defender with his long arms, couldn't deal with it.
Larry Johnson coming off the strong fourth quarter against Portland on Wednesday. 12 of his 14 in the fourth to help lead the Knicks back. Allen Houston continuing to have his shooting problems here tonight. And here's Thompson. Brooks Thompson giving the Nuggets an 83-82 lead. 8.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Johnson fielding for McDyess, and then gives it up. Brooks. That was waved off. A 3-second violation against the Knicks.
Well, the big edge the Knicks have is on the bench right now. Patrick Ewing. I know Jeff Van Gundy. As I say that, Ewing gets up now to come back in, because there's a new energized look that the Nuggets are presenting, and the Knicks have to slap them down.
Thompson, played by Brooks. And here's Stiff. Will not count. A foul, a loose ball foul on McDyess. And here's Patrick Ewing checking back in. McDyess with his fourth foul, so the Knicks with Ewing, Oakley, and Johnson up front. And John Starks has replaced Allen Houston. Houston only 3 of 9, 6 points.
Allen wanting fourth quarter action again, but he's just not showing the touch. He didn't play in the fourth quarter in New York either against Denver.
Ewing putting the moves on Johnson, took the contact. Basket won't count. Did not get the continuation call, but the foul on Johnson. No, they say McDyess. McDyess came over and he picked up number 5. 5 on Antonio McDyess.
Big loss now. Dick Motta will measure the minutes. Watch that clock carefully, because he will be back soon.
Johnson setting the pick for Starks. Ewing facing the double team. And here's Ward, able to penetrate. What a performance for Charlie Ward tonight. And then a delay of game. That's the warning against the Knicks. Here's another look at it. I think Charlie's surprised that he was able to whip by Johnson.
Well, Dick Motta mustn't be too happy about Irvin Johnson's lack of response to Charlie. He was a stride away from blocking Charlie.
So the Knicks lead by 1. Charlie Ward with all 9 points in the second half. Ellis lost it. He thought he was fouled. No call.
It looked like he might have been fouled, but after the ball left his hands.
Oakley not able to convert that open shot. Here's Ellis for 3. And it will be Nick Ball. 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks lead by 1. Knicks have led by as many as 7. Denver earlier had a 10-point lead. That was back in the second quarter. Starks racing to the spot. He was looking for the 3, but Stiff recovered. Here's Johnson wheeling it back. Shot clock down to 8. Johnson beat his man, then had to control the dribble and hit. He had to reignite the dribble. He had lost it momentarily and then was able to hit.
Knicks really focusing on Larry Johnson. Both sides of the court gave Ewing a break, and Johnson made a terrific shot. Wow.
Thompson for 3. Knicks having difficulty holding on to the ball. And now Starks sets it up. Johnson now facing a double team. Here's Starks for 3. Yes! So the Knicks lead 89-83, and the Nuggets call for time. 6 minutes to go in the fourth.
Roy Tin Cup McAvoy is the best player to never hit the big time.
It's an easy game, this golf.
But ever since he met Dr. Molly Griswold,
I think I'm in love with you.
What? He's been changing his whole approach.
I find him mildly attractive when he's obnoxious and arrogant like this.
That's his best side.
From the creator of Bull Durham,
Kind of like the old days, isn't it?
Kevin Costner, Rene Russo,
I highly recommend The Shovel.
Tin Cup.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on DirecTV. You're a big basketball fan, and you like watching the big game, right? It's the second half of the season, and there are going to be a lot of big games you'll want to watch on the little dish. Well, with NBA League Pass on DirecTV Sports, you can watch up to 35 big regular season games a week. Watch up to 8 great matchups a night. Catch the big-time rivalries, like when the Bulls battle the Knicks, the Rockets challenge the Lakers, and the Heat takes on the Magic. All for just 3 monthly payments of $33 each. Call 1-800-3414-DTV right now. And we'll throw in the season broadcast schedule and this NBA League Pass DirecTV jacket absolutely free. Call now because this offer won't last long. NBA League Pass on DirecTV. The little dish that's talking big sports.
Well, the Knicks lifted it up just now and stretched that lead out to 6 points. Larry Johnson losing control, picking it up and finishing with a very soft touch. No fatigue in the Knicks in this game.
Larry Johnson has 19. Patrick Ewing with 17. Knicks lead at 89-83. Battle between Ellis and Johnson down low. They're trying to feed Ellis. Stiff with the shot clock running down, lost it. Starks off the steal. Starks takes all the way, and he beat Irvin Johnson over the 6'11" Johnson.
Johnson didn't go back and establish a defensive position as a big man should, and Starks felt it and took advantage.
Again, 2 big buckets by John Starks. Foul called against the Knicks.
Starks was the Nuggets killer in New York. He didn't shoot the ball well in December, but he had the big 3-point shots in that game. Here, it's a defensive play, a reach around, and it worked for John. And he has Irvin Johnson on the run, and he just goes right through the hoop.
Foul on Charlie Ward, trying to help out. Putting LaFonso Ellis on the line. He's now 4 of 6 at the line. He has 24 points. The Knicks lead 91-84, down to 5:22 remaining in the fourth. Knicks getting the good ball movement here in the fourth quarter. A lot of touches. 5 on the shot clock. Oakley with a high flying jump shot.
Well, he had to adjust the shot because McDyess was coming at him. He had committed himself to shooting it.
And McDyess is open, throwing a brick.
Big danger here now for the Knicks if the Nuggets start hitting threes.
Nuggets have not been hitting the three-point shot, but they are always dangerous from downtown. 4.5 left in the fourth. Ewing putting the move on Johnson. And back comes Goldwire. Ellis guarded by Johnson. Goldwire played by Ward. Goldwire has not shot well. Here is Stith. Kept alive by McDyess, and he was fouled.
Larry Johnson reaching around. Starks didn't get away with it a moment ago, but they got him on that reach around.
The Knicks only their second team foul. Third on Johnson. The Knicks by 6 points. Just under 4 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. McDyess. Good defense by the Knicks.
Yes, the Knicks are aware of the long-range shooting of this team, and they're putting a lot of pressure wisely.
Oh, a long pass thrown by Oakley. Johnson was able to make the catch and wisely slowed it down, and Oakley upset with himself as he heads back to the bench. Knows he's fortunate that Johnson was able to make that reception as the Knicks call for time.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what will I tell the boss?
In rent-a-car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold ate our presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
When we completely redesigned the 1997 Infiniti Q45, we actually improved on perfection. But if you're wondering how the Q carries forward its tradition of superior performance while still offering an unparalleled feeling of elegance and luxury, let's just say it works out. The 1997 Infiniti Q45, luxury with performance. Lease the 97 Q45 for just $649 a month for 36 months. Initial payment of $1749 includes security deposit.
The Knicks have a 91-85 lead on the Nuggets. We have 3:38 remaining in the fourth quarter. If the Knicks can hold on, this will be considered an enormously successful West Coast swing. A very difficult trip, and the Knicks would make it 4 of 6 as they head home to face the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday night at Madison Square Garden. That'll be an S+ game, MCS Canada Knicks game night, getting it underway at 7 o'clock. The Cavs, who stunned the NBA with a victory at home last night against the Chicago Bulls. Here's Charles Oakley. 7 assists for Charles to equal a season high. 10-2 run by the Knicks over the last 5 minutes, and Denver has hit a cold spell. They've had a number of droughts this season, and they have not been able to convert a field goal the last 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Oakley inside for Ewing. Ewing with another opportunity, and stopped by Johnson, and then deflected out of bounds.
Well, Patrick thanks Charles for the look as he comes up court.
He hesitated for a moment, and it may have cost rather than go right to the hoop. Here's Stith, and a foul. Foul on Ewing. That is his 4th. And for the Knicks, their 3rd team foul. Bryant Stith to the line. He's 1 for 1 at the foul line, and an excellent free throw shooter, 87% for the season.
Stith had an odd game in Tuesday's game. In their last game against Toronto, he was 0 for 3 from the field, but 9 of 10 from the foul line.
As we mentioned earlier, bothered by a sprained left foot. He's been playing with it for the last 2 months. It's a rare miss at the line for Stiff. The Knicks lead is 5. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. That pass from Starks picked off by Ellis. Good job by LaFonso Ellis. It's been 5.5 minutes between field goals for the Nuggets.
Well, this is where the Knicks usually stretch out their victories in the fourth quarter with their intensity on defense.
Well, Goldwire knocks down a 3. 91-89. The Knicks lead is now 2. Down to 2:20 to go in the fourth. Ewing hit on a reach-in. Foul committed by Irvin Johnson.
Everybody knows in Nuggets territory that the ball will go to Ewing as much as possible, so other Knicks have to be ready to respond and want that ball.
That's 4 on Johnson. Only the second team foul on Denver.
John Starks looking for that pick, gets the ball, and it is Ewing.
To the drop step. Patrick Ewing has not been able to do it here in the fourth quarter. Well, 6 straight points for Denver. Ellis over Johnson, and he's tied the game at 91. The Knicks take a timeout with 1:46 to go in the fourth.
You're looking at the one number that has simplified your life for long-distance calls away from home. You knew that, right? Okay, now we're going to show you something really new. Introducing the one number for local calls away from home. Ready? Wow, pretty amazing, huh? Want to see it again? Okay, long distance, local. Long, local. Across the country, across the street. Here, there, and everywhere in between. The one number to know for all calls away from home. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT and simplify your life.
We look at the broad strokes. We see the fine line. We explore relationships. The New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of discovery that others miss. Like the mess within so many of our institutions. The New York Times. Expect the world.
Denver with 8 unanswered points, and the Knicks have not scored now in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. This after the off shooting by the Nuggets. They went 5.5 minutes without a field goal. Denver 3 timeouts remaining. The Knicks with 2 left.
Well, it was a pass to Ewing from Oakley that looked like an automatic 2, but no, it rolled off the rim. Ewing recovers. Can't make that ball go in. Finally goes out of bounds off his hands. And then the Nuggets, Anthony Goldwire hits a very big shot. He's a guy trying to make the league, and he's in this position in Denver where he's doing good things right now.
Goldwire 2 for 10 from the field prior to that 3-point shot.
So the Nuggets have risen here and have not rolled over to the bigger, stronger Knicks.
Ward and Starks at the guards. Ewing, Oakley, Johnson up front. Now 1.5 minutes remaining in the fourth, and the game is tied. Shot clock at 5. Ewing spinning, cannot hit. Once again, Patrick Ewing with the opportunity and has not been able to convert. Goldwire.
Larry Johnson fighting desperately to stay in front of Ellis and remove him as a target.
5 on the 24. Ellis LaFonso Ellis gives Denver a 2-point lead. Patrick Ewing 0 for 6 from the field in the fourth quarter. Here's Starks, saw the opening, rejected, and fouled. So John Starks taking it to the basket, and he'll go to the line. John Starks making his first appearance at the free throw line.
John faced clutch moments in Los Angeles last Sunday and surprisingly missed at the line, but his history is one of being a very fine foul shooter in clutch moments.
76% for the season. The Knicks now down by 1 after leading by as many as 8. They had come back from a 10-point deficit. 48 seconds to go in the fourth. And the game is tied at 93. Dick Motta takes a timeout. We'll be back in Denver in a moment.
His kids are in college. You'd look at him and you'd say, he's got it made. But now it's not about making it, it's about keeping it. You can't assume you're going to coast home from here. He knows that, and his broker must have known it all along. Sure, it's about keeping it, but it's also about enjoying it. How's he doing it?
More research, insight, understanding. Payne Weber. Invest with more intelligence.
The promise of tomorrow. To put down roots. To be there for your kids. To watch your family grow. Owning a home means something different to everyone, but the dream always starts the same. For a free guide that can help you on the path to homeownership, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
How do you like your pizza? Domino's has 3 delicious crusts to choose from. Right now, get a medium 1-topping pizza free when you buy any large 2 or more topping pizza at menu price. Ask for this deal today.
Domino's! Hot! Wow! Now! Well, it seems on this trip the Knicks like close games. And right now, with 48 and 2/10 seconds to go, it is very close. It's a tie. John Starks at the foul line moments ago. Very cool, couple of deep breaths, didn't touch the rim on both of his foul shots. He got the job done.
But the Knicks here in the fourth quarter have shot only 5 of 16. Ewing 0 for 6. Oakley 0 for 3. Ewing has missed his last 7 shots. And this uncharacteristic the way he has been going in recent times down the stretch.
Oddly enough, the shots around the basket, whereas in the stretch lately, he's been hitting fall-away jump shots.
The Knicks and Nuggets tied at 93. Goldwire handling.
Well, they want stiff down low, guarded by the shortest Starks.
Shot clock at 10. Here's Goldwire. Oh, he got it up over Ewing for a 2-point Denver lead. Knicks do have 2 timeouts remaining. 20 seconds remaining in the fourth, 10 on the shot clock. Here's Ewing, and he was fouled with 15 and 1/10 second to go. So Patrick Ewing to the line, 3 of 5 at the foul line, and has had his share of success and disappointment in this type situation in final seconds, final minutes of games.
Marv in New York, in their first meeting, he had 2 foul shots with 45 seconds left, and he canned them. And in Portland the other night, of course, he had a good finish as well.
Down to 1. Ewing ties the game at 95, and the Knicks hit the clutch free throws. 2 by Starks, 2 by Ewing. Denver taking a timeout.
Do you know which one ingredient makes my Arch Deluxe so great? It's not just one. That was a trick question. It's all the ingredients of my Arch Deluxe that make it taste so great. Nice hat.
McDonald's Arch Deluxe.
I made it for you. You know, when I created my crispy chicken deluxe, I knew you'd love it. That crisp chicken fillet. It's right up your alley.
McDonald's Crispy Chicken Deluxe.
Hey, I have my name on my shirt too. I made it for you.
I want boom, dot, boom, doom. Why do you want to look at my Discover card statement? It's mine. I live in New York City. Of course, I love the theater. Bring in the noise. You know, it's my favorite show. I go there as often as I can, trying to steal another step. And my kids want me to be more risky. Come to Garçon stuff is, you know, it's risky. I want a cashback bonus.
How many credit cards make a statement like that? It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Well, you can see it's deadlocked and there's 15 seconds left. Now Denver tries to come up with some magic. And it will be one of those situations as you watch Ewing now at the line. See how he followed through beautifully, and watch the deep breath. That certainly felt good for Ewing. Denver will try now and put the ball in the right hands. I don't think there's any one particular thing they can try and do. They don't have an overpowering person. They tried to set up stiff down low with Starks, who fought him pretty hard. I think they may be discouraged from doing that again. Goldwire, with a terrific drive a moment ago, certainly has to be respected by the Knicks. And they got to close that middle down. In a last-second situation, Ewing's got to be aggressive, but they can't commit a foul and have this game end on the foul line.
I would think they'd be most comfortable, though, with the ball in the hands of LaFonso Ellis, who hit a clutch bucket a moment ago.
Larry Johnson's got that job.
Game tied at 95. Down to 5 seconds. And here's, oh, it went through Ellis, and a foul. But it is a non-shooting foul. They had the foul to give. Turns out to be a good foul with 2 and 6/10 seconds remaining. Denver using its final timeout. So now Denver will have the problem of having to get the ball inbounds. And the next foul for the Knicks would put them over the limit.
Gravity
by Foot Locker.
Of all the laws of nature, you are my least favorite.
It's not your fault you exist, but gravity.
You are no friend of mine. You do not belong in my house. Though you show up every morning. I defy you, Gravity. You are not my obstacle.
That grin you see, that's me knowing I will beat you.
If only for an instant. Even if it's just for an instant. Foot Locker, where it all begins and gravity ends.
Experts say that Social Security and pensions may provide only 45% of your retirement income. And that could let some air out of your retirement plans. Fortunately, MetLife is there. With advice and information about annuities, mutual funds, and other retirement options. We'll help you make sense of it all. Get Met. It pays. For more information, call 1-800-MET-LIFE.
Well, 2 and 6/10 seconds left, and the way the Knicks are playing in this tied game now, the internal defense is very tough. I don't think that the Nuggets can get that ball inside, so they're going to go to the quick release jump shooter, it would seem. And they are very good at that. Of course, the Knicks have to be wary of fouling the shooter. A lot of pressure on the inbounder. Now, there's the executioner. Dale Ellis, the all-time three-point shooter in NBA history.
Denver just used its final timeout. The Knicks do not have any fouls to give. Tom Hammonds also checking in. And he'll inbound. Jeff Van Gundy still on the court, looking to set up the defense. Let's see. They don't have a delay of game to take. Remember, Charlie Ward knocked the ball away. That was the delay of game, so it would be a technical foul. Jess Kersey just told Jeff Van Gundy to get back to the bench. So they couldn't get a look at what Denver will try to do. But Hammonds can't find anybody. Gets it to Goldwire. He's going to have to fire it up. He does. And we head to overtime. So the Knicks played it very well. Usually they would have the delay of game, allowing the coaching staff to check out the scheme of the opposition, but they did not have it. So Had it been a second delay of game, it's a technical foul.
They were trying to get the ball to Dale Ellis, and Oakley played him very tough, took him away as a target, and he came out to bar the goal wire as well, and they didn't get a decent shot off.
Nick Mata watching the frantic inbounds of his Denver Nuggets, which ends up as an overtime situation as the Knicks will play their third overtime on this 6-game Western trip. We'll be right back.
American Express, how can I help you? Mr. Carter, I have you booked on the next flight to Taipei.
Confirmed on that flight to New York.
If they were American Express traveler's checks, there'll be no problem.
That's no problem.
I'll have your medicine sent to your hotel right away.
Right now, you have just over 2,000 membership rewards points.
Maybe you'd like to speak to one of our financial advisors.
Financial advisors?
Talk to me about where you want to be when you retire.
I reserved 4 seats. Will there be anything else?
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
You've become a serious player in the global marketplace. Now, you're looking for a serious partner with the resources to reach every country, reduce paperwork, even help speed packages through customs. Luckily, who you need to know, you know already. Global delivery services from the U.S. Postal Service. Ask for the world. We'll deliver.
Well, the Knicks coming off an overtime win in Portland on Wednesday night, and the Nuggets come off an overtime loss here at home against Toronto on Tuesday night. Knicks 3-1 in overtime games. The Nuggets now 2 up and 5 down in overtime. And for the Knicks, their third overtime on this 6-game road trip.
Toronto's Damon Stoudemire scored 9 of the team's 12 in overtime to beat the Nuggets last Tuesday.
Yes, he had a career high 35 against Denver. Larry Johnson facing the double team. Charlie Ward for 3. It has been a magnificent game for Charlie Ward. All his offense has come in the second half and now the overtime. He's 5 of 7. He has 12 points.
That no hesitation move by him is quite impressive.
The Knicks lead 98-95. Ellis putting the move on Johnson. Goes to the jump hook. And kept alive by Irvin Johnson. Here's McDyess. It counts and the foul. And that's number 5 on Patrick Ewing, extending the knee into Antonio McDyess.
Well, McDyess had been under control from the Knicks' viewpoint for the last several minutes. But now he comes in with a gorgeous shot.
And McDyess, like Ewing, playing with 5, 8 of 8 at the line. The Knicks 98 and the Nuggets 97. Opening minute of the 5-minute overtime. Starks for 3. Yes. So once again, John Starks hits the big buckets in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And once again, it means Allen Houston has not played down the stretch, but John Starks has been coming through. Knicks now lead 101-97. Ellis gives it out. Here's Stith for 3.
Oh, Stith with confidence. Begged for that basketball.
The Knick lead is 1. 3.5 remaining in overtime. Oh, the steal by McDyess. And he's fouled. Fouled by Oakley. That's number 4 on Oakley. And a good foul by Charles Oakley. Is hearing it from the crowd, but that was the play. You want to put McDyess at the line in that situation. McDyess is not a good free throw shooter, although he has hit his shots tonight.
You can see Oakley running so hard to deny that slam dunk that you know is what McDyess wanted to do.
And if you commit the foul, you want to do it so it's not flagrant, but you want to do it so the player does not have the opportunity to score for the three-point possibility. McDyess has tied the game at 101.
There's a guy who went through his college career, much like Ewing, as a defender and a shot blocker, and now he's emerged as a big-time scorer.
And is hitting his free throws this evening. 10 of 11 at the line. Denver by 1. We come up on 3 minutes to go in overtime. Ewing has been off in the fourth quarter. Rebounded by Oakley. Wild shot attempted. Comes back to Ewing. Rebound Ward and a foul call.
Irvin Johnson goes out to try and get a piece of that shot by Ewing, and he put a little too much effort into it while fouling Ewing.
And Johnson is fouled out, number 6. On Irvin Johnson, who leaves with 4 points, 7 rebounds.
That was not a thinking man's foul. Ewing was away from the basket, and his long arms should have been up, but not into Ewing's body.
Patrick Ewing hit 2 free throws in the final seconds of the regulation. He's 5 of 7 at the line. Tom Hammonds checking back in, replacing Irvin Johnson. Patrick Ewing 0 for his last 8 from the field. The game is tied at 102. 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in overtime. Both the Knicks and the Nuggets playing their second consecutive overtime game. Goldwire and Stiff in the backcourt. Hammonds with McDyess and Ellis up front. Here's Ellis from deep. Oakley on the save. And the Knicks push it down, leaving a couple of Nuggets in the backcourt. Not able to take advantage of. Johnson with a series of moves drawing the foul.
Good instinctive move by Johnson. He didn't have a good shot, but he felt the man all over him, and he just demanded. He drew the foul.
Foul on Stiff. And Larry Johnson to the line.
Here's Larry Johnson. And he just goes right up into the defender and draws the foul. Knicks right now trying to overcome the fact that they blew an 8-point lead in the last 5.5 minutes, which they enjoyed. It was 91-83, and Denver Nuggets got hot and made some very key hoops.
Larry Johnson 2 of 2 at the line, a 69% free throw shooter. And the Knicks lead by 1. And you can hear, and this has been the case throughout this road trip, much support for the New York Knicks in the crowd on the road. So the Knicks lead 104-102. 2:20 to go in overtime. Now Stiff posting up on Starks, gets inside. Beautiful move by Brian Stiff. He's tied it at 104.
Well, he kept working at getting that position, and it finally happened for him.
Timeout taken by the Knicks.
The New York Yankees are champions. All the remarkable stories of the Yankees' 1996 season are showcased in the video Pinstripe Destiny, sponsored by MSG. From opening day to its glorious last out, you'll relive all the Yankees' most memorable moments. You'll see clutch pitching, game-saving defense, and incredible heroics. Pinstripe Destiny, a great gift, is available at Nobody Beats the Wiz and where videos are sold.
Neither rain, nor mud, nor ruts and ridges, nor rocks and rivers, nor sleet nor snow shall keep a new Toyota 4Runner from keeping you from your appointed rounds. Power you need, and all the room and comfort you want. And with a starting price around $20,000, it could take your dollar even further.
Well, the Nuggets won't go away. They're used to losing. They come in here with a 5-game losing streak, having lost 8 of their last 9 games, and they are digging hard. Brian Stith came through a moment ago. He got the post-up position on John Starks. That head fake and the finish. Even Patrick Ewing couldn't deal with him. So with 2:07 left, we're at 104 each.
And the timeout rundown, Knicks with 2, Nuggets 3. The Knicks had a 91-83 lead with 5.5 minutes remaining in regulation. The Nuggets at the time were in a scoring drought. They'd gone 5.5 minutes without a field goal, but they were able to turn it. A 12-4 run ended regulation, and we moved on to overtime. Down to 2 minutes to go in OT, and the game is tied at 104.
Now with Irvin Johnson out, Tom Hammonds is dealing with Ewing, and the Knicks want to get that ball to Ewing.
Hammonds at 6'9". Ewing with the drop step and gets the roll. He had missed his 8 previous shots. The Knicks lead 106 to 104. Goldwire being pressed by Ward. Shot clock down to 7. Ellis checking the clock, puts the move on. Rebound Ewing.
Boy, Ellis got in mighty close to the basket. Knicks were very fortunate.
The Knicks with the ball and a 2-point lead. Oh, the steal. Here's McDyess. It counts, and the foul. Foul committed by Oakley. McDyess to the line. He's tied the game. He can put Denver in front.
Oh, he makes a great play here. John Starks just paid no attention to the overplaying by McDyess, who makes a great steal and then a very difficult shot at the end.
McDyess, as you see, 10 of 11 at the line. He's been able to hang in despite the 5 fouls. Down to 1 minute left in overtime. Tied at 106. Starks played by Stith. Again saw the opening and again able to take it to the basket. Last time that occurred, the Nuggets were able to close on him. This time they could not. They were not quick enough to react, and the Knicks lead by 2.
That's the great part of John Starks. He shakes off a mistake and comes back strong.
McDyess. And Starks being told to move it to the midcourt line, get it up court. It was deflected out by Stith. And Jeff Van Gundy wants a timeout. So the timeout is called. When we resume, 30 1/10 seconds to go in overtime. The Knicks have 19 on the shot clock, and they have a 2-point lead.
Budweiser.
Alright, we're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, and I hope you like jamming too.
Your daughter has an American Express student card. She'll be able to get great deals on flights home.
It gives you more choices.
With that card, you can extend the payments. It's very flexible.
You're going to get a reward point for every dollar you spend.
Our senior member card has a lower fee.
It gives you some more options.
I'm sure we've got a card that'll work for you.
Whoever you are, American Express helps you do more.
Well, the Knicks once again not showing any sign of fatigue. John Starks with a careless pass a moment ago. Antonio McDyess makes a terrific shot at the end. Foul by Oakley, goes to the line, misses. Now John Starks, the next time the Knicks are on offense, dribbles left, goes right to the basket, and the finish. Irvin Johnson's not on the floor for Denver, and they miss him or his presence. Starks has brought the Knicks right back in.
And both clubs shooting well in overtime. Knicks have 1 timeout remaining, and the Nuggets with 3. The Knicks have 19 on the shot clock. They lead 108-106. Knicks trying to use as much of the clock as possible. Starks digging on Stiff. And a foul call. Foul committed by a very unhappy Bryant Stiff. That's 4 on Stiff, and Starks to the line. He's 2 for 2 at the line. He hit important free throws late in regulation. Down to 15 and 8/10 seconds remaining in overtime. The Knicks lead by 3.
Tremendous pressure foul shooter. I mean, John is snapping the nets.
For the Nuggets. And again, Starks hits 2 of 2. The Knicks lead is 4. And they're off the bench to greet John Starks as Denver calls for time. So the timeout taken by the Nuggets with 15 and 8/10 seconds remaining in overtime.
Well, John Starks has emerged once again. We mentioned it a couple of times before in New York. He put the finishing touch on the game with 3-point shooting. A couple of big ones down the stretch of that game at Madison Square Garden. Here tonight, he's had ups and downs, but far more ups than downs. And once again showing why Gundy goes to John Starks in the pressure moments.
And a good sign for the Knicks. They have hit 9 of their last 10 free throws. That goes back to the final minute of regulation. And this one of those games where Jeff Van Gundy, concerned about the fatigue problems with the altitude here in Denver, has used 10 players. Chris Childs sidelined because of the wrist problem. So Charlie Ward the starter, but he came early with Scott Brooks, came early with Walter McCarty. And Allen Houston among the first to congratulate John Starks after he hit 2 free throws.
And Chris Childs, too, who's sitting this one out tonight with his injured hand, among other things. Meanwhile, the Knicks will fly home tonight from Denver to hopefully pull themselves together for the Cleveland Cavaliers Sunday and the very busy week that follows next week.
Cleveland followed by Milwaukee on Tuesday, at Toronto Wednesday, in Boston on Friday, and then their friends from Chicago head to Madison Square Garden. John Starks with 23 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. He had 9 points over the first 3 quarters, 14 points in the 4th quarter and overtime. Once again, rising to the pressure situation. The Knicks lead by 4. Ellis couldn't find the shot. And now LaFonso Ellis coming up short, but a foul is called on Starks with 8 and 3/10 seconds to go. The Knicks are over the foul limit now. That was not what the Knicks were looking for to stop the clock and put Bryant Stiff on the line to cut it to 2, and the clock is stopped. Still 8 seconds remaining.
He's their best foul shooter.
Stiff 3 of 4 at the line. And now Allen Houston has come on for Larry Johnson.
Knicks want to make sure that if the foul shot is missed, that there's someone covering the foul shooter.
So it is down to 2. 8 and 3/10 seconds remaining. Houston. That's why he's on the floor. They wanted a good free throw shooter on the floor as Denver has now gone over the limit, and Allen Houston will go to the line now. The other side of the picture, Allen Houston has not touched the ball in a long time. He has been sitting. The last time that Houston was on the floor, 8.5 minutes remained in regulation, and it was also his first appearance at the line. 81% from the foul line. And hits on the first very calmly.
Jeff Van Gundy feels smart right now. Immediate payoff for that substitution.
So the Knicks lead by 3. We have 5 8/10 seconds to go in overtime. Allen Houston able to hit on both, getting the friendly roll. A full-point Knick lead, and Denver has taken a timeout. 5 8/10 seconds remaining in OT.
Now let me get this straight. What you're saying is all those Delta Sky miles I'm accumulating
will never expire. Just fly with us once every 3 years.
So 10 years from now, you're still good. Half a century passes.
Still good.
Oh, I'm 104 and I need a vacation.
Have you flown with us once every 3 years?
Absolutely.
Hawaii's nice.
Does everyone have email but you? AT&T can deliver it to you through the internet. AT&T, nobody makes it easier to catch the wave. Worried that no one will visit your website? AT&T can drive customers right to your door. AT&T, nobody makes it easier to catch the wave.
Well, the Nuggets are just about out of time. What they have to hope for now is that the three-point shooter makes a shot and gets fouled. That's the only thing that can happen. The Knicks also can choose to foul the man who gets the ball, send him to the line for a couple of shots, and then get the ball inbounds. Unlikely that they'll do that, but the Nuggets have to go to the long-range shot.
How about the Knicks shooting in overtime? 4 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from three-point range, 7 of 8 from the foul line, and it has been a total team effort. Contributions from the entire squad this evening. 1 timeout remaining for both teams, and both clubs over the limit. Here's Ellis' 4th 3. Rebound Oakley, and that will wrap it for the Knicks. A terrific West Coast swing. They take 4 of 6. They win 3 of those 4 in overtime. And they go to 42-16. They are now only a half game behind Miami, with Miami losing earlier tonight to Seattle. The Knicks have now won 10 of their last 12 games. So in overtime, 112-108. The Knicks defeating the Nuggets. And a look at the standings reflecting the Knicks win and the Miami loss. Just a half game separating the Knicks and Miami. Earlier tonight, Seattle 96 and Miami 95 in Miami. We'll be back with more from Denver right after these messages.